Jesus.
All right. We are live and good to go for week 6, right? It's,
Yep.
jeez. Time flies when you're having fun. Let me get my screen share going on. I apologize in advance. My system is running ridiculously slow because I was running an update, and I still am. Oh, I'm in the verifying stage, so that's really good. Um, this week is going to be pretty easy from you guys' perspective. Just a couple different screenshots. I'm going to go over basically the different desktop environments that are out there. The great thing about Fedora is that you can install all of them and try them out, and if you like them, you can use them. If you don't, you can, skip it. Um, and then also, I was going to go over run levels and what that means, what services do, what a daemon is as opposed to a service, which will hint they're the same thing. Um, okay, my update's done. So while I'm here at my terminal, we'll get started on the graphics stuff. I'm going to do a yum group install and do quotes around mate desktop. Before I do this, I'll do a yum group list of what's available. And a group, as opposed to individual packages, yum group list shows you all the different groups of packages. Package groups are huge. Generally, they'll be like many megabytes to install. So they'll take a while. So that's why I want to start it now. There are different environment groups. There's GNOME, XFCE, which I already have installed. I recommend you guys using XFCE, or at least trying it out. It's really customizable. I really like it. Then there's GNOME, which is default. Then you can install KDE Plasma Workspaces, LXDE, Cinnamon, Mate, Sugar, which don't install Sugar. It is not designed for regular computer use. It's designed for like touchscreens. So if you have a touchscreen, Sugar might be the way to go. But don't do that. It'll be a waste of time. But if you like Cinnamon or Mate or Mate or whatever you want to call it, they're both really good. They're very popular right now. Mate or Mate is a continuation of the old GNOME project before they did this whole nonsense of tiled windows. Well, actually, I'll give you guys a screenshot. So this is from OpenSUSE, or Susie. But you have a tile bar at the top with, date and time up the top, and then a taskbar down at the bottom. And it's very similar to, Windows or OS 10. You have a drop-down menu. Your settings are all centralized. So it's a good choice. I recommend it. Or Cinnamon is another popular one. And I think this comes default on Mint, but you can use it on pretty much any distribution. It's very similar to probably kind of the Windows or KDE look and feel. And then there's also KDE, which I'll show you guys. It has this idea of widgets on the desktop. So, no, I didn't really want that.
Do that?
No, it didn't. So these are actually like parts that live on the desktop. Like this calculator isn't like a window you can drag around, it's a part of the desktop right there. Which I used to use KDE back in the day when it was like 3.5, I think. And it looked like this. And you had, your traditional menu bar, stuff like that. I really liked KDE, and then KDE went to KDE 4, and it was terrible. I didn't like it. So I switched to GNOME, and then GNOME went to GNOME 3, and I hated it. Although I'm using it now, I switched to XFCE, although now there's a lot more choices. So we're going to do that. We're going to do a yum. Because these have spaces in them, you want to put quotes around it. But I'm going to go up here, and I want to do, we'll do cinnamon. Because I have not yet run cinnamon on any of my personal systems. So I'll do a yum group install cinnamon desktop, and it'll go through and install that. I'm going to power on maybe my, I really don't want to get too involved with my virtual machine because my poor hard drive can't take it all. Good. Can everyone see / hear me on the inner tube? Bob or Gabe?
I can hear you fine.
Yours isn't like it?
No. There's no conflict.
If you get a conflict, chances are you need to update your system. So if you get any errors on this, I would guarantee that like most of the errors you get are caused by your system not being up to date. And to do an update, I'm actually going to hit no on this to show how to do an update. So let's do a yum update. That's it. What? No, in yum, upgrade and update are the same. So, you know, they work the same. So I'm going to say no to that because I don't need that Revit. But yum update will update your system if you have any problems doing the yum group install. And there will be a lot of packages. I mean, if you guys saw here, there's just for this one group, there's, you wanted to download, you know, not too bad, 89 megs, but 39 dependent packages and install 13 packages. So that's what, 52? My math is right? Probably isn't. So play around with it. I will, now that I'm not running anything, I'm going to try it. I'll try my VM. I paused it in the middle of its update because I was getting that error as well. So we'll see. I'll cancel. It's being really super slow. And I got a disk space warning. Nice. Oh, good. You also don't want to kill this during an update. It can have deleterious effects. I've done that.
I've done that too.
It's about a third of the way through. So I'm going to let that one run. It's not being too bad. It's actually in the middle of the actual update process. So I'm going to go over a couple things. The first thing is what is a service versus what is just a regular program, and then what are daemons. In the Unix world, daemons are the same thing as what Windows calls services. They're equal in pretty much all respects, just it's a terminology difference. Starting and stopping services is very similar to what you see on Windows. If you've not done a lot of Windows administration, though, services are what allow you to run servers. Generally, the biggest difference between a server and a workstation or a client is basically just services. Like Windows Server 2008 or 2012, there's really not a whole lot of difference between those and, say, Windows Server 2008. Its comparison was Vista. R2 was Windows 7. Then, Windows Server 2012 matched up with Windows 8, and Server 2012 R2 matched up with Windows 8.1. And the differences aren't really that great. They're basically the same thing in terms of what they do. But one thing that the server operating systems, at least on the Windows side, they strip out things you wouldn't need on a client. Now in Linux, they have different distributions that are designed to be servers and different distributions that are designed to be client systems. But for the most part, you can use one for the other. And with Linux, everything's free. So there's no problem with running, say, WordPress on a local Fedora system. In fact, my website runs Fedora. I think it's an older Fedora. But it runs Fedora on it, and one of the reasons I did that was to stay up to date with all the newest and latest and greatest packages that are out there. And if you want something that is the newest, the latest, the greatest, generally the client-level Linux distributions are later, not later, but they're more up to date than, say, the server operating systems like a Debian or not Ubuntu, sorry, brain fart. Debian, CentOS, SUSE, Red Hat. Those are the server-grade operating systems. They don't change very often, and when they do, it's not revolutionary. But say Fedora, they introduce new stuff all the time. Stuff breaks. Ubuntu, they introduce stuff all the time. It breaks. Mint, same way. So just some slight differences. Now, what a service, we've done it already, but just to kind of go over what we're doing, when you start a service, it's a program that basically runs in the background to do a job. For example, with HTTPD, it runs a service that listens on a port that you can hit over the network to serve up web pages, which is really handy. You don't have to start the program every time to make it work. Conversely, the database server that we set up, that runs all the time so that when the system's on, the service is running and you can use it. Now, there are different package sets. So say you want some services to run when you start the computer and some services not to run. Now, Windows is pretty binary. It's either off or it's on, or it's like a delayed start. In Linux, it's much more nuanced. There are concepts of run levels, and the system has 6 run levels. Actually, 7, technically, because there's run level 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, 0 and 6 are reserved for 2 special functions of the system. Run level 0 is stop, meaning that you shut your system off. And run level 6 is for reboot. So if you wanted to reboot your system right now, you can put it in run level 6. The quickest and easiest way to do this is to type init 6 or init 0. So init 0 is shutdown, init 6 is reboot. And the init, which is what the service that loads all of the other services on your system, at least it used to, that's all changing. But from a historical Unix perspective, the init daemon is what starts all the other daemons. So if you ever see anything with initd or xinitd, those are init daemons that allow you to run other services. Yeah, don't delete any of this stuff. So what you're doing by doing init 6 or init 0 is you're telling your system to go into run level 6 or run level 0. And the init service controls these run levels. Let's see if my update is... No, I'm not going to do that. Maybe I will. It's getting closer. I can show you some of the reboot stuff when I get my VM back. Now, the run levels 1 through 5, which are where you run, that's where the system's actually up. Run level 1 is a special run level designed particularly for system recovery. It's called single user mode, and if you forget your root password, you can go into run level 0 and reset it. Except, well, that used to be true, not anymore. Now you have to have your root password to go into run level 1. So just keep that in mind. That's the way it used to be done. I've never done password recovery on more modern systems yet. And more modern meaning like the past year. They've been changing this. The single user mode is useful if your system is just totally forked and there's nothing you can do, but you know enough about Linux to go in and maybe see if you can fix it. I've had to do it several times where my file system was trashed, but I could get to run level 0, and I could run the file system check and actually fix my file system from run level 0. So, or not 0, sorry, run level 1. Then there's run level 2, which is the first basic mode of operation of your system. A lot of servers probably, well, 2 isn't really used all that much. 3 is used more commonly to be basically everything but your GUI. So when you run into run level 3, your system boots up like normal, all of your services run, but instead of a GUI popping up and asking you to log in with a mouse and nice pictures, it just gives you a black screen with white text saying log in. And this is useful particularly on servers where you don't need a GUI, especially if it's virtualized, because if you have a virtualized server, chances are no one's going to be getting into it from a graphical sense. No one has a physical monitor or keyboard to plug into it. So run level 4 is one of those run levels that's not really used. Very rarely it's used. Nothing really special about it. If you want, you can set it up to be whatever you want, though. And then there's run level 5, which is everything and your GUI. So your GUI, by default, every Linux system boots into run level 5. And to see, I wonder if that services control panel is still available. To better illustrate this, I want to open up the GUI, which I think is still yum install system-config. My poor hard drive is melting. Now we're getting closer. How far is yours?
I'm not
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. 49 1,002.
Nice.
Jesus. Mine's just open. Okay, so you does that and then it does this. Oh.
Yeah, you have downloading phase, then you have installation phase, and then you have a verifying phase. It can take a while.
Did that one take? Did this take half an hour? I thought it was like 5 minutes before you. Yeah.
So,
Probably an hour or more.
yeah, this isn't a VM.
Yeah. It's running a lot faster than mine, though.
True.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, VMs are really bad for heavy I/O use.
There's almost 100 of that one time. Almost a century there. Oh boy. Ooh, okay, all right. I was just like David trying to update this computer the other day. Oh god, yeah, some of this. Yeah, totally right.
Yeah, my system's really slow. I hope the video isn't choppy. We're at 800 there. This is installing, verifying, and now it's done. So I'm gonna run this, and it'll. The reason I like this is because it's really easy to show what each run level has in terms of services. No, maybe not. What does that even mean? The maximum number of pinning ropes applies. Whatever. So this is the service configuration system, and it's really nice. So maybe they've changed it since I've last used this. No, maybe not. They got rid of this, where you could see which run level things are running in. But this shows you all your services that are running, and because we're in run level 5, it's showing us basically what is in run level 5. You know, on second thought, I don't really need to go into what services are and aren't in each run level. Just knowing that they're there can be helpful, especially for troubleshooting a system once it's down, like if it's completely down and dead and not working. Going into a different run level may help fix the issue, or at least get you to a system where a subsystem where you can actually get in and maybe fix the issue. The last thing, I put it in the notes, the announcement for today, but the last thing I'd like to go over is grep. Grep is very powerful and very useful. So a while back we were working on installing, say, WordPress, and we were having some issues where we wanted to see what was going on. And I'll cat out var log httpd error log, where those errors were. But say, I mean, that's a lot of text to look through. I don't really know what I'm looking for, but I do want to look for, I want to grep for denied, because I was getting permission denied somewhere. So if I grep for that, if you see now, denied is in red. So it allows me to search through visually, search through the log and see where things might be failing. Conversely, we could probably look for fail. Nope. This also only searches, it'll only show you what it finds. So say you had a huge list of stuff. Let's use this error log for example. We don't have a bunch of stuff here, but we have a few things here. And say I didn't really care about this heartbeat thing. I don't really know what it is. I don't really care. I don't want to look at it. And say it's filling my log. I can do a grep v, which I have no idea why that stands for inverse, but it does, for heartbeat. And what it does is it shows me every line that does not have heartbeat in it. To make it more pronounced, I will actually grep v for error. And now you can see it only outputted these lines that didn't have error in them. Or if I wanted to search for what was error, I take the -v off, and now I find just the errors. And error is highlighted in red, which allows me to find more information, or find the information more easily. English is not my strong suit. Hey, this is almost done. Oh, now it's verifying. Oh no.
Nope. Whoa. Slow, yeah. Oh wow.
Oh yeah, and a VM rebuilding delta RPMs in a VM is slow. Which one, are you on verifying or cleanup?
I'm gonna update.
Okay.
Steve's letting 2 times the way better style.
Well, I'm on the last set, so I've already updated. I've already cleaned up. Now I'm on the verifying.
Oh yeah. No, I'm updating on what?
Don't worry about warnings.
Okay.
Warnings are easily, like, you can ignore them. I was hoping to show how to use these tonight.
So, I didn't see a case because why not? I'm not actually using it. It doesn't work. They can't find the jive list for it. I found this at my work cleaning out an old IT closet, and I figured I'd try to get it full.
Well, part of the problem is you're using a keyboard PS2 adapter, and you're connecting a mouse to a keyboard PS2 adapter.
You bought that adapter there too? Yeah. The fact that they have that though is really funny. Like adapter to work. I also like a floppy drive. Surprisingly, the PS2 keyboard is kind of handy space.
No, they don't. The USB is way more useful.
No, I could be left one.
All right, so I just got done with my update on here. We'll see how long this. Oops. How long this Cinnamon desktop takes to download. It shouldn't take very long since I just did that update.
I installed Cinnamon, but I don't think I installed the right Cinnamon. I just did yum install Cinnamon.
Oh.
Yeah, probably not. Oh yeah, I got that one. I didn't.
Well, that's interesting. Well,
All that stuff in there like that.
this is where going and doing some troubleshooting is helpful. I'm gonna go full screen in this. We'll just work in this. Come on. There you go.
Yeah. 25. Can't do this anymore. I think the next one will go. I haven't used it.
All right, let's actually just do a Google search. We got this error, right? So I'm just gonna pop this into Google and figure out why. Very first thing is how installing KDE, which we're not installing KDE, but I'm sure this will actually work. Let's do this. It says exclude Fedora release star, so let's try that.
I still got 15 minutes.
So I'll paste that in there.
You hear the class?
Yeah.
Oh, you can go ahead and sit down. I'm just finishing up the last bit here. Oh, look at that. It works now. That is the power of the intertubes. And that was even on Yahoo search, which I don't know why that popped up to Yahoo search. I hate Yahoo search. Oh. Yeah, I use DuckDuckGo and Google. DuckDuckGo is great because they actually take your privacy and your security seriously. So they don't track you, they don't bubble you, they don't, you know, for example, you want a good example of how Google tracks and bubbles you. I go to google.com. I'm going to search for, I don't know, flowers.
I think that when I go I think the top right corner, it's like, you search for this somewhere.
So it shows me this, but somebody else go to Google and Google flowers. And I guarantee you the results will be different. The top, these ads will be different. And, this is a fresh install of Fedora. I don't have any of my personal stuff tracked on this. If I go to view full screen, where would I feel comfortable doing that? Bang G flowers. So it has different ads. It has images. It doesn't have the images on the right. It's different. Now I can hide private results. Google allows me to do that, but still it's different than what I get over here. And really the only difference is that I'm signed into my Google account here and I'm not here. And even if you're not signed into your Google account, there are tracking cookies, and it'll track the places you search, the places you go. So, DuckDuckGo doesn't do that. So that's why I use them. Yeah. Oh, my phone loves to remind me of all, I just bought a truck, so it's like, oh, hey, here's how to fix this thing in your truck, or here's where you buy parts for your truck. I'm like, thanks, Google. I was looking up 2-3 different problems, and now you're getting a little out of hand.
What I don't understand is, like, in my dorm, if I Google something on my phone, it already Google on my computer.
Yeah, well, because your account is synced between your Google accounts.
How do you come to Google?
You sure?
Yeah. I think I'm not signed in. I'm signed in on.
You're signed in on your phone, though, right? Mm-hmm. And I like Google. I use Google, but Google is creepy. Google is very, very creepy.
Google is live.
Yeah, don't do that. So now we're installing Cinnamon, and hopefully this will get done soon enough where I can show you guys how to switch between them. It's actually very easy.
Oh, you want to see this thing does have the floppy connector behind it.
Well, I tell you. Occasionally I know something. Not often. Good question. Not one for me. Come on. 83. About halfway there, a little over. So yours actually did install, or it just installed Cinnamon package itself?
Whatever fits Cinnamon. Oh, 1 minute left.
Just rebuilding Delta RPMs.
See, that's 7. So then
Really?
Probably another half hour when you have to do this. Yeah.
I really, man, I was hoping I could get this done sooner.
Yeah. How do I get this to go back in? It's the little box. Yeah. That's cool.
Like most elements.
Yeah. That's not really.
There's a smaller screwdriver on there.
Although I was still on the size of the problem because it's so bulky. I can't.
Yeah, nothing around here. 104 of 149. Almost there. I actually installed Cinnamon now. I hope I'm still recording. It's happened to me so many times where I've accidentally stopped recording for some reason or another. It's happened already, what, twice so far this semester?
I think so. Thank you for your time.
Ah, great. So updates and installs, they're good times to go, like, get something to eat. Or, like, go to bed. Give your system an update, then go to bed.
That's what I want to see. Yeah, because that takes forever. No matter what it is, it's 6 hours.
Oh, whatever. Xbox One updates are
Oh,
way
that does
better.
suck.
They're like-
I thought Destiny was horrible.
Yeah, Destiny is like, oh, you got the disc. Oh, that's nice. Oh,
Just
look,
kidding.
you have a 10 gig update you need to download.
And
We're
you saw, like,
sorry.
maximum of like 16 for hard drive maxed out. Seriously?
No,
Not
I have
exactly
more.
but yeah, I have like 8, and it's like a.
I've actually got quite a few. I'm at like 80% though.
Get a solid state drive and put it on the Xbox.
You
Like I
can't.
bought Halo, the Master Chief Collection, and that took like a solid day to download.
Yeah. That was one that I pre-ordered and just left my Xbox off the day it came out.
Yeah.
And the next day I could play, so
What if you can like turn your Xbox off and.
yeah. It just goes to sleep. But actually it doesn't go to sleep. It just goes into a low power mode. I was really disappointed by Master Chief Collection.
I was too, and I thought like the online version was horrible.
Yeah, their matchmaking was bad.
It's
Alright.
like Halo 5, that was awesome.
Cool.
Halo 5 was good.
So now that I have it installed, I'm going to log out. Maybe. Hopefully I didn't tell it. Nah, cancel. I didn't want to hit power. I wanted to hit my user account and say log out. Apparently it did not like the... my hard drive. I need a better hard drive. That'll be on my to-do list to put an SSD in this thing. Or I could just get a better laptop. Yeah, 6 of one, half dozen the other. Well, actually, after that update, I should have rebooted. Probably. Oh, there we are. So now I go into my login, which right here, and I click on the little gear, and it allows me to select, I want to go to Cinnamon. And so I'm going to put in my password. Now instead of going to GNOME, it takes me to Cinnamon. So that's all you have to do to get into your new desktop environment. So for this week, I just need a screenshot of grepping something and the new desktop environment you have. And this is, here, let me see if I can scale auto resize VM with window. Will that work? Maybe. No, it will not. Awesome. Okay, let's go full screen just so you can see it. Wow, it does not want to do that.
Oh,
Oh, deuce.
Let's verify without the thing.
Come on, I just want to show you guys the bloody thing. Anyway, there's a little menu down here. A lot of people really like Cinnamon, so if you have thought about installing like Mint for the very reason that it comes with Cinnamon, but you like Fedora, well, you don't have to. You can just install Cinnamon on Fedora. So that's all I have for this week. Thanks for those of you who showed up. Thanks for everybody who's keeping up and sending me emails. I will talk to you guys next week.